Boom, 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 boom. Pay no attention to the children screaming in the background. I have trashy neighbors. Anyway, I am here on the range with the Mammoth. This thing is enormous and ridiculous and magnificent. And I'm a plink. At some point I'll go back to the shop and talk about it. But I'm going to start with the plinking because I know that's what you're really here for. Let's see if there's any chance of me hitting the 75. Oh, so close. Oh, a little low. That was not the plan. I did not want to hit the close targets because I think it's going to break them. That one came out bad. This thing needs a stirrup. That one drifted to the left. Should be my last round. Oh, close again. Sight's a little high, but not as bad as I had thought. Alright, I'm gonna reload with regular cut down darts. Those are all 3D printed TPU Acu Fake-ish type. I'm gonna go have a seat and we gonna plink. Right, I'm sitting down because this thing is heavy and it has a built-in bipod and I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna continue to try to hit the 75, but now that I'm firing regular darts, the odds are not in my favor. I hit the back wall though. Oh! I'm just gonna go for the be prepared to stop. Oh Lord, I'm gonna have to show you that hit. Oh! Oh, I don't know if you're gonna be able to have seen that with the angle you've got, but I will bring the camera up and show you what that just did. Am I out? Yep. Reload! It definitely wants for better darts. I've got one last 3D one. We'll put it in here at the bottom. And there's a bunch of regular cut down. Oh! Oh, I got a... That is so obscenely brutal. Oh, just below the be prepared to step. I'm having to aim high and to the right for some reason. I got it! I hit it! Oh. And that was with a regular one. Alright, now we can try it with the TPU one. Oh, no sir! Oh! Oh, that is brutal. All right, I'm bringing the camera with me. We're gonna go take a look at some damage. That is amazing. First up, I clipped this corner, and it caved it in. These used to be flat. They're not flat anymore. Oh, that is brutal. Okay, that big dent in the middle, that's brand spanking new. These ones don't get hit much because they're not the numbered ones and they're off on the side. But that is ridiculous. You can see the shape of the dart head. And I also hit this one. Same thing. Just brutal. Oh, that is brutal. I managed to clip this one the first time I took it to the range, but it's a little bit further out and it was towards the bottom, so it didn't look like it did too much damage. We got a whole bunch. They're coming in all the way back here at the end of the range, whether I'm aiming for the end of the range or not. That is wild. And I'm going to pick them up and fire them some more. Alright, we are once again loaded up with the fancy TPU darts, and we are going to continue to try to hit the be prepared to stop good and square. Oh, a little low. Still a little low. There it is! That slaps. Alright, let's see if we can put a big old dent in the 75. Now with that dart we can't. That's the whirly birdie. I think this is my last round. Oh! I hit that one again. That one is just getting a, getting a beating. Alright. Now we put the regular darts in and we pray. Hitting the back wall consistently at least. Oh! We are all over the place. That thing is just absolutely ridiculous and magnificent. And my shoulder is starting to hurt. So that's enough for the range. Let's go scrutinize it on the workbench. Or as much of it as we can see on the workbench at any given time. Here we go. Right, let's talk about the mammoth in the room. This is the mammoth. It is based on the big G.R.E.G designed by Evan, who was on Get Off My Lawn 2 weeks ago at the time of this filming. 1 week ago? 3 weeks ago? I don't know. Time is an illusion. But this particular cosmetic build was designed by the Moose, Misguided Moose, and is absolutely gorgeous. This thing is massive and obscene, and I dig it. I have no idea where I would ever use something like this, but I wanted to have it in my life. I can use it on the range, obviously, and damage my poor targets. I don't have... There are games... I think I could actually technically run this at one of our local games called Bucket, but I'm not sure I'd want to, because I don't think it would be fun. It's horribly inaccurate with these, and I would not even consider shooting these at a friend. So, yeah. Taking it up to range, it fired 105 paces, and my pace is about a yard, so about 315 feet max range, 180 on the short end with the heavier ammo, and the ones that flew squirrely, the full-length ones flew a little bit less. They're anywhere between 60 and 100 paces, which is just absurd and ridiculous. The plunger tube is similar, if not bigger, than the massive burn. Just an obscene plunger volume, and then just massive, massive spring. It's got 2 springs, and I don't know which they are anymore. I think it's like a K14 and a K25 nested, something ridiculous. It is direct prime, which is a beast. I really wish they could have come up with some kind of a geared prime like they have in the Centurion, but you'd need metal gears to not have it break, and then I'd be worried about the shell being able to support that. And it'd be a much more complicated mechanism. This is just straight pull, which is pretty nifty. Massive, massive barrel, very, very massive B-car up here under this shroud. Like I said, I love the design. It's very sci-fi, very space plasma rifle-y looking thing. All of this shroud up front is completely unnecessary. It's purely cosmetic, and it makes it look not like a real steel firearm. Just having a bare barrel is a lot more alarming looking. The Moose is more alarming looking if you had it in anything other than bright, bright orange. But even then, that doesn't prove anything, so I like the spacey look. The big ridiculous shroud on the optic, which is also unnecessary, and I had it off during the film because part of it fell off while I was moving out there, and I couldn't be bothered to put it back on. But it, again, makes it look sci-fi and makes it clear that it's a toy, or at least helps. Does have fold-down bipod, which is nice because this thing gets real heavy real quick. One thing I do wish it took full-length darts. It can, as we saw, you can feed in from the bottom. I really wish this port was large enough to easily feed from the side. That would have been a really cool feature if just made this just a wide enough so that you could. You almost can, but you'd have to squish it, and I didn't want to do that. So feeding from the bottom worked well enough. Obviously not something I'm going to be doing a whole lot, but it would have been a neat additional feature just to be able to side feed. Even if, I mean, you could side feed these at that point, which also would have been nice. You could make a dummy magazine that just fills the bottom, and then you could just feed in. Anyway, absolutely way too much fun. Never had anything do quite that much damage to the target, so you could see the outline of the. When I looked at one of the targets that these hit, which have sharp edges, and yeah, it just was a full imprint in those tiny, thin aluminum plates. Those things are going to need to get repaired, replaced, something. I don't know. They're eventually I'm going to end up tearing through them, and they're going to get worn so thin. Super cool. He did print my logo in it, which is neat, and then there's the Moose logo in a couple of places. I think it actually mentions, does it mention the G.R.E.G? Yeah, the Mammoth G.R.E.G. It does give homage to that, and then gives the dimensions on the dart. It's 31 by 70 millimeter, which is ridiculous. Actual anti-tank rifles are 20 millimeter, and this thing fires 30, which is the caliber of the A10 Warthog's gun. This thing is absolutely ridiculous and fantastic. And like I said, it would have been nice if it had a full-length option. I mean, the G.R.E.G originally fired full-length darts. Moose discovered that the shorter ones just fly better, so he went to shorter. Though it would have been nice if it had the full-length option, because you could have just had a half-dart mag that was the length of a full-length mag and then just been able to put a full-length mag. But again, I'm not going to use this enough that I'm going to be bothered by how much ammo I have. He sent a whole bag of cut-down darts and a couple of the TPU printed ones, and that's all I will ever need. I was able to get a bunch more of the full-length ones. Somebody reached out to me. They lived near an Ollie's and stocked up, bought me a bunch. I need to check Big Lots. Apparently Big Lots is the West Coast equivalent of Ollie's. There's no Ollie's west of Nebraska, so but apparently Big Lots is maybe owned by them, subsidiary, something, I don't know. I need to check a Big Lots and see if they have great piles of cheap Mega XXL or Mega XL. Anyway, my thanks to the Moose for sending me this monstrosity. I will hopefully get more opportunities to just plink random places with it. Maybe rain down fire at some event where if I'm firing at 100 paces, it's going to lose most of its energy by the time it lands, one would hope, thanks to air resistance. These things have just so much energy because they're 6 times the weight of a regular dart, which means they have 6 times the potential kinetic energy, give or take, which is just wild. I love this level of engineering. This very much exists largely as a can I build it, but also they wanted something that could take out shields, and in their games something this heavy is allowed. I imagine there's probably engagement range limits, and they're probably playing in a really open field, and he had someone with a shield that he really wanted to be able to reach out and touch. And if nothing else, just having these whistle darts go past your head will keep your head down. So very, very cool. I'm looking forward to some of Evan's other designs. I really want his full auto belt fed Mega XL blaster to someday be in my hands, my greedy hands. I need to get my golf cart working so I can start mounting heavy weapons to it. Or replace it with something better. I'd love to have like a Polaris Ranger with treads and weaponize that. But, dem's expensive. Anyway, this thing is awesome. If you're looking for something absolutely ridiculous, this is the thing for you. I assume it's similarly easy teardown. It looks like there's bolts that are probably bolted into the metal rod. Yeah, you can see where the metal plate that runs through it. There's probably another one up top to hold it all together. And if you take out those bolts, you can get to your mainspring relatively easily. I don't know, maybe some kind of a socket that rotates off. I can't imagine I'm gonna open it up and tinker. This is a beastly prime, but I'm slowly getting used to it. I still wish this thing had a stirrup so I could hook my foot on it and prime like a crossbow, but I don't know how you would connect that securely unless it was also connected into that metal rod, and that starts to get dubious. I do dig it though. So again, my thanks to Evan for creating the technology behind it. My thanks to Demoose for making it what it is and for sending me one. And my thanks to you guys for watching. Yes.